Hello and welcome back to our Vectorworks 2026 drafting tutorials. Today we're going to be working on drafting light plots. So I've got my 3D drawing of Studio A open that we did in an earlier tutorial, and I'm going to go ahead and just save it as a new file before we ever start. So I'm going to call that Studio A light plot tutorial. Great. Okay, to start, we need to put together what we call focus points. And this is specifically where the lights are going to focus on stage. We want to be able to tell Vectorworks that information so it knows where we're going to be pointing the lights. So to do that, I need to create a new layer. So I'm going to go to my Layer Options drop-down menu and the Show Organization dialog box. And I want my new layer to be between soft goods and lighting positions. So I'm just going to say new, and I'm going to call it focus points. Okay, and there's my new layer. Now notice that right now it has an elevation of 18 feet. I don't actually want that. I want that to be 0. Otherwise we would be focusing our lights way up into the air, which is not what we want. So I'm just going to change that to 0, hit enter. There it is, and I'm all set. So I'll hit OK. So my first focus point that I'm going to set is actually going to be my downstage center one, which is basically right here intersecting pipe E. Remember when we created this drawing initially, we numbered our pipes 1 through 6 top to bottom, and we lettered the pipes A through I right to left. So that would make this pipe E. If you are unsure of a pipe's name, you can always go to the lighting positions layer and select it and go up to your object info palette, and it'll tell you right here what that position name is. For now, I'm going to be in my focus points layer and ready to put in my focus points. So I need to go to the focus point tool in the lighting tool set. So the lighting tool set is the one that looks like the light, and the focus point tool is this one right here. So I'm just going to click on that to select it, and I'm going to put that right there and click once, and it's going to suggest a name. In my case, it's C. I've done this a couple of times, so it may be thinking that already, and that's actually correct. They're going to be, the focus points will be lettered A through E, and so on. So this one's going to be in the middle, so I do in fact want it C. And then focus height, we want to be 5 feet. That's the average height of a human head, and that's where we want to be most concerned about where our lights are focusing and overlapping. So that looks good. I'm going to say OK. And there's my focus point. Now I need to make some more of those, so I'm just going to duplicate that and move it. And I'm going to move it 6 feet to the right. And you'll see if I go to my object info palette, it thinks its name should be D, which obviously comes after C. These are the earlier ones, so I'm going to call it B. Just a quick side note, when I'm drafting light plots, I am always doing it with the caps lock on. It just makes it much cleaner and easier to read. So that one's going to be focus point B. Great, and I'm going to duplicate and move that one again, and it's going to be A. And then I'm going to come back to focus point C and select it, and I'm going to duplicate and move it. And this time I'm going to do minus 6 feet because I'm moving it to the left. And it's automatically going to become point D, which is correct. So I'll duplicate and move that again, and it'll give me E. From here, I'm going to duplicate E, and I'm going to click and drag it over on top of point A, so I know that that's directly in line. And then I'm going to move it 0 on the X and minus 4 feet, excuse me, on the Y, so that it moves it down into this, this next lane. That looks pretty good. It is doing it alphabetically, so that's point F, which is great. So I'll duplicate and move that. minus 6 feet on the X, 0 on the Y, and I'll just keep going through that process till I have my next row of 5. There we go. And from here I can actually just select all 5 of those and duplicate them and move them 0 on the X, and again minus 4 feet on the Y because I'm moving it down the page. And it will keep doing those sequentially alphabetically. So there are my 15 focus points ready for me to place my lights. Okay, from here I'm ready to start placing my lights, and so I need to select the symbol for the fixture that I want to use. So I'm going to come up to my resource manager, and down here we have the section called Vectorworks Libraries. I'm just going to click this little caret to open that. And I'm going to come down and open Entertainment, and come down and open up Lighting, and then Instruments. And here are all of the different manufacturers that there are symbols for within Vectorworks, should you need them. Obviously, there's quite a few. For our purposes, we're going to come up and find the ETC Source 4. And we'll click to open that. There's a variety of folders, but we're just going to click on this top one here that says Source 4. And here are all of the symbols for the various types of Source 4s that ETC makes. For this, we're going to want a 36 degree, so I'm going to double click on that to import and activate that symbol. And close that up. You'll see that my cursor now changes to a ghosted image of that fixture. Also, notice that in the lighting tool set, the lighting device tool has been activated. So as soon as you double click on a fixture, Vectorworks knows that you're starting to place lighting instruments, so it activates that tool for you automatically. So I'm going to come over here, and I want this fixture to be in line with area A, so I'm just going to activate that smart point and come up to pipe 1, and I'm going to click once to place the light. That's essentially telling Vectorworks where I want the light to hang. And then as I move my cursor around, I can change the angle of how the light is pointing. In this instance, I want it just to point straight forward to area A, so I'm going to move my cursor until it's positioned that way, and I'll click again, and I've inserted that. Now, I've done this on the wrong layer. I'm on the focus points layer. I need to be on the light plot layer. So I'm just going to keep that selected, go up to my Object Info palette, and change this layer to light plot. Great, and then I'm going to go ahead and change my active layer to light plot so that doesn't happen again. There we go. Problem solved. You will notice that there is a hexagon and a circle behind the light. Don't worry about that right now. We're going to deal with those things a little bit later. From here, I'm going to just duplicate and move this fixture. I'm going to move it minus 1 foot 6 inches on the x-axis, so 18 inches to the left, and 0 on the y. So now I have a pair of lights that would get focused to area A, and those are all set. I want to have a pair of front lights for all 15 of my areas, so I'm going to select both of those and duplicate them. And I'll grab one of those duplications, put it in line with area B, and I'm going to continue that process for all of my areas. The other thing that I could do is just duplicate and move them minus 6 feet, because we know that's how far our areas are apart from each other. So it moves it there. I can do that again. Whoops, didn't duplicate them. Duplicate and move. There we go. And so now I have 10 lights placed, 2 focused at each of my first 5 areas. Like I said before, we want to do that for all 15 of our areas. So I'm going to select all 10 of them and duplicate them. And then I'm just going to click it and drag down to the next pipe. There we go. And I'm going to do that one more time. And now I've got 30 lights plotted in, and all of them focusing pairs at each of my focus points. You can see that there's one light that's directly in line with the focus point and one that's off a ways. We really want to center those on the focus points as best we can. So from here, I'm just going to select all 30 of them, and I'm going to move them 9 inches on the X offset. They're just going to bump over 9 inches. So now they're actually splitting center of each of those areas, and that's going to work out better for me. So I've got all 15 of those plotted. The next thing I need to do is tell Vectorworks what area each of them are associated with. And we're going to do that in pairs. So I'm going to select these two. I'm going to come up to my object info palette. You can see that they already, Vectorworks already knows that they're hanging on pipe 1. There's some other information that's already auto-populated based on what it knows in the symbol. So the size of the color frame, the size of the beam of light. We don't need to worry about any of the shutter angle right now, but if you come down further, it'll give you the total weight, what the wattage of the lamp is, etc., etc. But we want to scroll down to right below beam angle 2 to where it says focus, and we want to focus that in area A. So both of those are now focused to that point. If I were to click this little box next to draw beam, it would show you that both of these lights are in fact focused right to area A, which is why we do those focus points in the first place. For now, I'm going to shut off the beam because it just gets a little bit too cluttered. And I'm going to select each of my subsequent pairs of lights and associate them with the correct area. So go ahead and complete that for all 15 pairs, and I will meet you back here in just a moment. Okay, now that we've got all of our front lights designated to each of our individual focus points, we're going to go ahead and put in the side light. So again, I'm going to come up to my resource manager and double click on my 36-degree source 4 to activate it. There we go. Again, I've got that ghosted image of that fixture. And so I want that to be in line with with point E, and it's going to be placed on pipe I, which is this one over here. So I'm going to find the middle of point E and just come over right till it intersects with the pipe. I'm going to click once to place the light. Again, that's me telling Vectorworks this is where I want the light to hang. And then I'm going to move my cursor to the right so that that fixture is pointing on stage. And I'll click again to finalize that placement. And now I've got a light focusing on stage. It's actually not going to focus at point E. We're going to skip that one from this side. It's just a little too steep, and the angle doesn't work, so we're just going to ignore it. So this light's actually going to come to focus point D. So I'm going to come up to my object info palette and change it to D. Great. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that fixture, and I'm going to just click and drag that duplication to the next pipe. It's going to go to be focused to point C. I'm going to repeat that process again for focus point B. And then one more time for focus point A. There we go. So now I have 4 side lights all focused from the stage left side of the stage. I need to duplicate that onto the other side, so I'm actually just going to select all 4 of these and mirror them across center, which happens to be pipe E, this one right here. So I'll mirror all 4 of those. There's my new fixtures. And now I need to come in and update their focuses as well. So this first one is not going to go to D, it's going to go to B. The second one should be correct in that it's going to area C. Yep, that's right. This one will be D, and this one will be E. Great. I need these side lights to continue all the way upstage from both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all 8 of them and duplicate them, and then grab those duplications, put them in line with the next set of areas, and there we go. And I'm going to do that one more time for my third set of areas. Now I need to go in and individually update each of these fixtures with their correct focus points, which are a little bit hard to see. It's getting kind of cluttered with the hexagons and circles behind all the lights. It's kind of covering a lot of things up. So let's actually deal with that real quick. I'm going to come up to Spotlight and Lighting and Label Legend Manager. And right now, we're going to get into this in just a little bit, but right now there's only one label legend, and it is the default, and I just want to get rid of it. So I'm going to select that and hit remove and say OK. And now it's going to get rid of all of those shapes, and it's going to open up my drawing a little bit better for me to see the actual focus point names. I think I can probably grab these and maybe move them just a little bit further. Yeah, maybe not. But we need to go through and assign these each of their focuses, right? So we did B, C, D, and E. So this one is going to be G. This one's going to be H. This one will be I. And this one will be J. I find it easiest if you can do these alphabetically. It's just kind of the way that our brains work rather than bouncing back and forth in the alphabet. But go through and assign each of these to their respective areas, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Next, we're going to put in our template top light fixtures. So again, I'm going to go up to my resource manager, and I'm going to look in my source 4 folder, and I'm looking for the ETC source 4 50 degree, which is this symbol right here. So I'll double click on that to activate it. And I'm going to come right in line with focus point O, and just double click because that's where I want the fixture and that's the direction that I want it pointed. And then from here, I can change its focus and tell it that I want it to focus to point O. And then I'll duplicate that and I'll move it over 6 feet. And that one will be letter N. And I'll duplicate and move. This will be M. And duplicate and move again. And that will be letter L. And duplicate and move again. And that will be letter K. From here, I'm going to select all of these and duplicate all of them and drag them up to the next pipe. And I'm going to do that process one more time and drag them up to the next pipe. And then I'll go through and individually update each of these fixtures with their appropriate focus points. Next, we're going to put in our LED backlight. So I'm going to come up to my resource manager, and I'm going to collapse the source 4 file. I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to come up here to the ETC color source file, and I'm going to expand that. And I'm going to choose color source par. Here are all the various types of color source pars. And for our purposes, we're going to want the ETC color source par MR, which is this one right here. So I'll double click that to import that symbol and activate it. And you can see I've got that ghosted symbol again. And I'm going to come over right on top of the 50-degree focus to focus point O and just double click to insert that because it's where I want it to hang and it's also the direction I want it to point. From here, I'm going to go ahead and move that so that it's not two fixtures on top of each other, and I'm going to move that 1 foot 3 inches to the right. There we go. And from here, I can duplicate and move that 6 feet to the right for each of my areas in that upstage lane until I've got all 5 in place. From here, I can select all 5 of them. And duplicate those and just drag those duplications up to the next pipe. And then I can duplicate those and drag those up as well. Now obviously these are kind of running into these fixtures here, so we need to slide them over a little bit more. So I'm going to say let's go ahead and move them 6 inches. That looks pretty good. They'll be out of the way and still be able to make their focus. From here, I can go through and individually select them and update their focus information, which is going to be the exact same as the 50 degrees. So this one will go to O, this one will go to N, this one will go to M, and so on. Now that we've got all of our fixtures placed, we need to populate some information about them. And the way that Vectorworks does that is through something called label legends. It was actually the hexagon and circle shapes that were automatically assigned to the fixtures when we first started dropping them in before we got rid of that one. We're going to make some new ones that are displaying what we want them to display. So I'm going to come up here to Spotlight and Lighting and then Label Legend Manager. And right now it's empty because we got rid of that default one, so there's nothing in there. So I want to add one. And it's going to give me this dialog box here. So I'm going to scroll down in this list and say, okay, I want the purpose. So I'm going to click in the Use in 2D column next to purpose. I want unit number, oh, not position, purpose, unit number, and channel. And then in the container type channel over here, I'm going to click to scroll through these until it says circle. So I want my channels to be inside of a circle. This is the symbol that it's going to use for the layout. And for this one, this is going to be our backlight. So up in our legend name, I'm just going to say this is LED BAX, which is LED backlight. And this symbol is correct. So I can say OK. It's going to give me back to the Label Legend Manager here. So I'll highlight this one and say I want to edit the 2D layout. I want to change how it's appearing. So here's my symbol. Here's all the information that's going to get populated so I can manipulate all of these things relative to this symbol so it appears the way that I want. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the purpose, and I want that to be a little smaller. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change it to a font point of 4, and I'm going to come over here and change its pen to blue. And then I'm going to rotate it to the left, which is Command L on a Mac or Control L on a PC. So it rotates it to the left. And then I'm just going to grab the center of that and I'm just going to drag it over so it's just right above, right next to my fixture here. From there, I'm going to take my unit number, and the unit number goes right in the middle of the fixture. And then I'm going to select both the channel text and the circle, and I'm going to place the top center of the circle right in the bottom center of the light, so it's touching right there, and that's what I want this layout to look like. From there, I can say exit symbol, and that's all done. I'm going to make a couple more of these. So we'll go back up to Spotlight and Lighting, Label Legend Manager, add a new one. This is going to be F/L for front light. And again, I want to see the purpose, I want to see the unit number and the channel, and I want the channel to be inside of a circle. I want to use a different symbol though. This is our color source par symbol. I want to use one of our source 4 LECO symbols. So I'm going to click on that to access my resource manager, and I'm going to find the ETC source 4 36 degree and double click on that so it changes the symbol so I know what symbol I'm working with. From there I'll click OK and then select my front light legend and edit the layout. Again, I'm going to change the font point and the color of the purpose, and I'm going to rotate it to the left and then drag that over by my fixture. Unit number is going to go right in the center. Channel circle is going to go right underneath it, and there's my front light legend. I have two more I need to do, which are for my side lights. So again, spotlight, lighting, label legend manager, add, and this one I'm going to do S/L for side light from left. And again, we want purpose, we want unit number, we want channel, and we want our channel to be inside of a circle. Using our 36 degree source 4 symbol will be just fine. So we'll say OK, and we'll select that one and edit our 2D layout, select our purpose and change the components of it to match the others. And this time I'm going to drag this on the far side of the fixture. Again, the unit number is going to go in the center, and then I'm going to select the channel, text, and circle. And this circle we're going to put kind of in this lower left-hand corner. So I'm going to kind of grab the top right smart point and drag it over here. There should be an endpoint right there that I can grab. And then my channel circle will be sort of angled off to the side relative. Keep in mind that this fixture is going to rotate 90 degrees and all of the information is going to rotate with it. So I'll say exit symbol, and I'll do that one more time for the side light from right. So lighting, label legend manager, add, side light from right. And we want purpose, we want unit number, we want channel, and we want a channel circle. Our symbol is fine, so we'll say OK, and then we'll select side light from right and edit the layout and change our purpose. This time I'm going to put it on the left side of the light. Unit number is going to go in the middle, and channel circle is going to basically reverse and repeat from the other side. So I'm going to put it relatively in the same spot on the other side of the light, because again, all of this is going to rotate 90 degrees. From there, I'll exit symbol, and I've got all of my label legends completed. The next thing I need to do is assign those legends to the various fixtures. So we're going to start with the front light and template top light. So I'm going to select these 20 fixtures, and I'm going to select these little pods of 3 that have 2 front lights and a template top light to them. And I'll select each of these individual template top lights as well, maybe. There we go. Till I have all of those selected. They're all going to get the same label legend manager because they're all oriented basically the same direction. Obviously, they're pointed in opposite directions, but the information can get placed relative to the fixture in those given positions. So from here, I'm going to go to Spotlight, Lighting, and now I can access Assign Legend to Lighting Devices. So I'll click on that, it brings up my options, and I want these to be the front light legend, and I'll click OK. And all of them get populated with a little channel circle in back of them. For now, there's no additional information that we have populated, so there isn't anything else on there. So we'll do that next. So I'm just going to click in some empty space, and I'm going to select the fixture on the right side of each of these pairs. So I'll select all 15 of those. Those are all going to do the same thing. That's going to be our cool colored front light. And from there, I'll go up to my object info palette. Oh, I've only got 14 objects selected, and I need 15. There's the 15th one. Okay, now I'll come up here. And this is all of the information, again, about our various fixtures. So from here, for the purpose, I'm going to go ahead and put in cool F/L, cool front light. And then I'm going to come down to the color field. I can either click in it, or I can just hit tab and tab through these fields till I get to color, and I want this color to be R60. I'll hit enter. And you can see that our cool front light has been populated in terms of our purpose. So next I'm going to do our warm front light. So that'll be the other pair of all of the, or the other fixture in all of our pairs. And our purpose here is going to be warm front light. And I'll tab down to color, and I want this color to be R305. There we go. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do my side lights from right, which are these fixtures here. So we'll select all 12 of those. And I need to assign that legend to them. So again, I'm going to come up to Spotlight, Lighting, Assign Legend to Lighting Devices, and this is going to be my side light from right, which I don't think is actually correct. Let's see what happens. Yep, that is the correct symbol, even though that's actually coming from the stage left, so I think I misnamed those. Should probably go back and fix that at some point, but that will be fine for our purposes. It's the correct orientation for right now. From here, so these are actually, I apologize, these are going to be our side lights from stage left. The orientation of the theater has me a little bit back to front, so we're just going to say S/L from left, side light from left. And our color is going to be L161. And we'll enter that. And then I'm going to do that from the same thing from the other side. Again, because we're a little bit back to front right now, we're going to assign legend to devices, and we're going to pick from left. Okay. And our purpose is going to be side light from right. And our color on this one is also going to be L161. There we go. Next, I'm going to do my backlights, my LED backs. So I'll select all 15 of those fixtures. And I'll come to Spotlight, Lighting, Assign Legend, LED Backs. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to come up to my Object Info palette, and in my purpose, I'm going to say these are the LED backs. I'm not going to enter a color on these because they're a color changing fixture, so they don't have a fixed color. So we'll just hit enter and it'll populate that information. Last thing I need to do is our template fixtures. So I'll select all 15 of the 50-degree source 4s that I placed. And we've already assigned them their label legend. It's using the front light one. That's just fine. So I just need to change some basic information here. Their purpose is going to be temp, T-E-M-P, short for template, T/L, top light, template top light. Down in the color, I'm going to put N/C. That's short for no color, which basically means that that color frame is going to be empty. And then because these are going to have a template in them, I need to enter the Gobo field. So Gobo1 is going to be the Gobo field, and I'm going to use template R76597. So all of that information is populated. I can hit enter, and now Vectorworks knows what all of those fixtures are doing. Okay, when we recorded our label legends and created those, we neglected to put any color information for that, and we want to be able to visually reference that on the plot. So we need to go back through and update all of those label legends. So I'm going to come up to Spotlight, Lighting, Label Legend Manager. I don't need to do anything for my LED backs. Again, those are a color changing fixture that doesn't have a fixed color. So the first one I'll do is my front light, and I want to edit the fields. From here, I'm going to scroll down until I see color, and I'm going to click in the use in 2D. It's not going to have any kind of container type. It already knows that this is the symbol that we're using for that, so we'll click OK. And with that still highlighted, I'm going to go into edit the 2D layout, and now the color field is over here waiting to be assigned to a location. I'm going to select that and again change that to a 4-point font just to make it a little bit more compact. And I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drag it right in front of the light, which is where the color goes. So I'm all set with that. I can exit out of that symbol. I need to do that a couple more times for my side light. So again, Label Legend Manager, side light, edit fields, color, okay, and edit the layout. I'll select the color, change its font point, and again it's going to go right in front of the fixture. Right there looks good. Exit out of that symbol and do that one more time. Edit fields, color, okay. There we go. And I'll exit the symbol. And now we can see that all of that information has been updated and auto-populated in front of all of our fixtures as to what color is in each of them. The next thing we need to do is populate all of the unit numbers. This way we associate the fixture to the pipe, always starting at 1 and moving forward. And we do this so that we can find a fixture easily in the case of troubleshooting. Say we've got a lamp out and we know that it's on pipe 1 unit 3, so we can go right to pipe 1, count over 1 2 3 and know the unit that needs to be addressed. So I am going to come up here to my active layer menu and choose lighting positions, and I'm going to click on pipe number 1, and you can see that the pipes have these little triangles next to them. That means that fixture is associated with that pipe. This one seems to be missing for some reason, so I'm going to actually deal with that first. I'm going to go back up to my light plot layer. I'm going to select this, and it says position pipe E. Okay, so it thinks that this light is actually hanging on this vertical pipe. And this is something that Vectorworks does essentially to try and help. Sometimes it's more helpful than others. But it basically tries to associate or tries to figure out what pipe it thinks you want the light to associate with. Obviously, this is on this horizontal pipe 1, not on the vertical pipe E, so I need to adjust that. So I'm actually going to just take it and drag it off of that pipe and then drag it back on. And now it's associated with pipe 1, which is precisely what I want. It's not quite in the right spot, so I should probably adjust that. So to do that, I'm just going to put it right on top of this fixture, and then I'm going to move it 18 inches over. And let's just double check. It's still associated with pipe 1, which is exactly what I need, so I've fixed that. From here, I'm going to go back down to my lighting positions layer and select that position again. There we go. Now I've got a little tick mark next to all 10 of these fixtures. All of those fixtures are associated with that pipe. So I can come up to Object Info, and there's a button right here that says Auto Number. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to automatically number my fixtures 1 through 10, associating them with pipe 1. So I'm going to go through and do that with all of my pipes, and to make it relatively quick, I can actually just hold Shift and click on all of them individually until they're all selected. And then I can come up to my Object Info palette and auto number all of them. And now you can see all of the fixtures have been populated with that information. I'm sure there are still some that are a little out of whack. Yep, looks like this fixture is probably associated with the vertical pipe. So I'm going to go through and address some of those. So I'm going to come back up to my light plot layer, select this fixture. Yep, sure enough, it thinks it's on pipe E. So I'm going to address that just like I did the one on pipe 1. So I'm just going to drag that down off of the pipe and drag it back up onto the pipe. And nope, it still isn't. All right, well, let's drag it down. Let's try a little bit further away. Let's bring it kind of over here. Yep, that's better. Now it's on pipe 2. So from here, I'm going to grab that and just put it right on top of that fixture, and again, move it over so I know that I've got that 18-inch spacing. Double check that one more time. Still associated with pipe 2, which is exactly what I need. So I'll go back to my lighting position layer, select that pipe, and auto number. And now that's addressed that. This is a particularly this problem particularly appears in a situation where there's a grid, where there's intersecting horizontally and vertical pipes. Usually in a proscenium theater, when they're just individual horizontal pipes, it's much less of an issue, but it's good to know how to fix it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 2, and then 5. Okay, so it thinks that both of these fixtures are associated with that vertical pipe. Let's just double check that. So I'll come up to my light plot layer and select both of those. Yep, sure enough, they're both on pipe E. There might be a simpler way for us to fix this, so let's actually try it. Let's go back down to our lighting position layer, and I'm going to select all of the vertical pipes, all of the ones that we have lettered A through I. And I'm going to send them backwards. So Mac, that's going to be Command B. Windows is Control B. So I've sent that back, and now you can see the horizontal pipe is sitting on top of the vertical pipe. And that will just help Vectorworks reference that a little bit easier. So for right now, I'm going to come back up to my light plot layer. I'm going to select both of these fixtures. I'm just going to drag them horizontally over to this part of the pipe. Now we're associated with pipe 3. That's great. So I can drag them back over here to center it up. And just to double check, yep, still associated with pipe 3. So I can go back to my lighting positions layer, select this pipe, and auto number. And now I've got all of that information populated correctly. You'll notice on the vertical pipes, it's 1, 2, and 3 from top to bottom. That's just fine. What else do we need to address here? Looks like both of these fixtures. So I'm going to come back up to my light plot layer. And again, since we've moved the vertical pipes underneath the horizontal ones, this should be a relatively easy fix. So I'm actually going to just try and grab both of these fixtures and move them horizontally over. Now, if I come up here, it's not going to have any information about the pipe because they're now both, or the position, because they're now both associated with different ones. But it looks like that's probably worked, so I will drag that back down, or back over. And back to my lighting position layer, I'll select both of those pipes just for expediency and say auto number, and yep, it's fixed both of them. So I think I've got all of my numbering issues fixed. So now I have the number of each fixture appropriately in its order relative to the pipe that it's hanging on. Next, we need to enter all of the channel information for our fixtures. And this is the number that'll get typed in on the light board to control each particular fixture. So we're going to start with our cool front light. Those will be channels 1 through 15. So I'm going to be on my light plot layer, and I'm just going to zoom in over here to my first cool front light that's going to focus to focus point A. And I'm going to double click on that. And when I double click on that, I get this lighting device pop up. And this is someplace else where I can enter more information about the light. So I'm going to hit tab, I guess 3 times to get me down to channel. And this is going to just be channel 1. And as soon as I hit OK, it's going to populate that channel inside that channel circle. I'll go to my next cool front light. That'll be channel 2. And my next one will be channel 3. And 4. Five. And then I'm going to start back on the other side of the stage again, much like we did placing the areas. So this is going to be channel 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then again, I'll start again on the other side, again with my cool front light, with channel 11, 12, 13, oh, come on, 14, and 15. Great, so that's all 15 of those. Next, I'll do the warm front light. Those are going to be channels 21 through 35. So go through now and enter in all of the channel information. There's a little table in the written tutorial. So the warm front light are going to be channels 21 through 35. The side light from left are going to be channels 41 through 52. Side light from right is channels 61 through 72. The LED backs will be 81 through 95. And the template top light will be 101 through 115. So go ahead and populate all of that information, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Okay, I've got all of my channeling information entered in for my fixtures, and I notice that in my 3-digit numbers, specifically like 108, 109, 107, the number's really crowded inside the channel circle. So I want to go ahead and update that. So I'm going to come up to my resource manager and scroll all the way up and select my Studio A Lightpot tutorial, whatever drawing name you've given this that you're working in. We're going to select that, And I'm going to double click on the containers folder. And here are the various containers that it was giving me the options of using when we were creating those label legends. And so one of them obviously is our circle. I'm going to right click on that and I want to edit the 2D components. And it's going to bring me into my symbol. It's already selected. So if I come up to my object info palette, I can see it's 6 inches high and 6 inches wide, which in our instance is a little too small. So I'm going to click on this center point in this grid. If one of the other points is activated like this, go ahead and just click it in the center because I want to be changing the size from the center out. And I'm going to change both the width and the height to 9 inches to make that circle a little bit bigger but still be symmetrical. And I'll say exit symbol. There we go. And now it's made that a little bit bigger. And there's a little bit of breadth and a little bit of space for that. However, I have a new problem. It's actually impeding on the symbol of my fixture, and in the case of my LED par, you can't really tell what fixture type it is. So I need to adjust my label legend layouts yet again. So I'm going to come up to Spotlight and Lighting, Label Legend Manager, Front Light. This time I'm just going to edit the 2D layout. I'm not changing any of the fields. And I'm going to select both my channel number or channel circle and text. And I'm just going to drag it down again so that the top center of the circle is at the bottom of the fixture. And I'll exit out of that. And you can see that that's already been adjusted here. I need to do the same thing for the LED backs. So again, Label Legend Manager, LED backs, edit 2D layout. And again, I'm going to select both of these things and just drag them down and then back up. There we go. Now all of the information, the entire symbol is visible with its channel information. Good. And let's just take a look at our side lights. It looks like our side lights are okay. I don't necessarily need to adjust that. I think those will be just fine. So I've just noticed something else that we need to adjust, which is in our front light and our top light, everything is displaying correctly in terms of the unit number and the channel number. But in our side light, all of our numbers are rotated 90 degrees, and it just makes it a little bit difficult to read. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that real quick. So again, I'm going to come up to Spotlight, Lighting, Label Legend Manager. I'm going to do one of my side lights, and this time I'm going to edit fields. I need to change something about the fields. And this column right here between the attribute and the container is right reading, which means that all of that information will stay relative to the page and not rotate. So I want to select next to unit number and channel number so that those things don't change at all. And I'll click OK and click Done. Yep, and we can see right here now I have rotated the unit number and the channel number in that side light, so it's much easier to read. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other one. Edit fields and scroll down to unit number and channel. Great. Click OK, click Done, and now this side is adjusted as well. From here, I'm going to go ahead and save my drawing and move on to the next step. The next thing we need to do is put a little visual indicator in our template top light. We always want to indicate visually on a light plot which fixtures are getting a template. It just makes them much easier to reference. So I've uploaded a completed version of this light plot to Nexus that you can download the Vectorworks file. And by doing that, you can access a template symbol that I like to use that's kind of difficult to find in a resource manager otherwise. So go ahead and download that Vectorworks file from Nexus and have it open so you can reference that in the resource manager. So I'm going to come up and reference that. I'm going to select that file, and the template symbol that I'm looking for is this blacked in triangle right here. So I'm going to double click on that. And it'll import and activate it. And you'll see that my cursor now changes to basically a set of crosshairs, like a sight. And if I hover over a fixture, the entire fixture will highlight and it'll indicate that that is a fixture that's getting an accessory like a template. If you look over here in our tool sets, it's activated our lighting tool set and the lighting accessory tool within that tool set. So I'm going to go down the line and just click in each one of my template fixtures. And you can see as I do that, it places that little triangle right where the template would go in the fixture. So I'm going to do all 15 of those. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my selection tool just so that I don't inadvertently put a template where I don't want it. And now I've got all of those entered. The nice thing about it is that Vectorworks now knows that that is an accessory for that fixture and that it in fact is a template holder. And if I move this light over, it travels with it. It knows it's all part of the same fixture and the same unit. That pretty much concludes all of the drafting elements of putting in the fixtures and populating them with the correct information. So I need to prepare my drawing for print. So I need to create an instrument key, much like you might have a key on a map that says what symbol means what, so that people can follow the diagram correctly. So I'm going to come over here just into some empty space outside of the larger drawing to create my instrument key so that I can create a viewport of it and assign it to my page when I go to print. So for this, I am going to start with a 36-degree source 4. So I'm going to come up to my resource manager and I'm going to select my 36-degree, my ETC source 4 36 degree. And again, it's going to automatically activate the lighting device tool. Vectorworks thinks I want to start placing more lights. And in this instance, I just want the symbol. I don't want it to have all of that extra populated information. I don't want Vectorworks to count it if I were to ask it to count the number of fixtures of a certain type that I have. So I'm going to come up to my basic tool set, to the object insertion tool, which is this little square with the area, the symbol insertion tool. And I'm going to select that and then just double click in that empty space. And now I've inserted that symbol, but Vectorworks doesn't know it's a light. If I come up here to my object info palette, all it knows is that it's a shape. It doesn't have any of that other information populated. It's just an object without any additional data, which for our purposes here is perfectly fine. I'm going to do that again with my ETC 50-degree source 4. So I'll double click on that, tell it that I just want to insert the symbol. I'm going to put it right on top of that 36-degree, and then I'm going to move it 1 foot 6 inches just so I know that they are all in alignment and have nice even spacing. And then I'm going to go back and do my color source par. Again, I don't want to insert that symbol, so we'll or that device, so I'll just go back to the symbol insertion, and let's find the center point between those and just drop it down here. That looks pretty good. So that's centered between those two fixtures. And I'm in good shape. So the next thing I need to do is create a whole series of text boxes. So I'm going to activate my text tool and start a field. And for the first one, I'm going to make sure that it is bold and that it is 8-point font. Again, I have my caps lock engaged. It just makes it cleaner and easier to read. And I'm going to make this say instrument key. Great. And then I want to do another one that is also bold and 8-point font. So I'm just going to duplicate my instrument key and drag it down and double click to enter my text field and highlight all of that and change this to accessories. And I need to do one more of those, so I'm going to duplicate that and drag it down and enter into that and highlight it all. And I'm going to call this one typical, which is essentially going to be the typical layout of how the information gets displayed. Essentially what number equals what piece of information. I'll hit escape to get out of that editing, and then my X to get back to my selection tool. So there are the first 3 bits of text that I need. Next, I need to populate some information about what types of fixtures that I have. So I'm going to duplicate this text box and just drag it down. I'll double click. The first line of this wants to be 8-point font and be bold as well. So I'm just going to keep this the way it is. And I'm going to make this be etc source for ERS, which is the type of fixture that is. I'm going to hit return to get on the next line. And this one, I don't want to be bold, and I want it to go back to a 6-point font. And I'm going to say at 575W, at 575 watts. So now I'm communicating what this fixture is and what the wattage of each of those fixtures are, which can frequently be a helpful piece of information. I'm going to duplicate that and drag it down and enter into it again. And this one is going to be my color source par. So this is going to be etc color. I'm going to hit return for a new line, source par. That just helps keep that a little bit more compact. And then in my third line here, I guess, again, don't want it to be bold, want it to be at 6-point. And rather than a wattage here, I'm going to put medium round, which is the type of LED wash fixture that we have. I'll hit escape to get out of that. And then I need to create some text for our typical fixture layout. So I'm going to just start a new text box, and the first thing I'm going to put in is the color, and then I can duplicate that and drag it down, and this one is going to be unit number. Great. Duplicate that and move it down. This one is going to be channel. Duplicate that, and I'm actually going to move it off to the side because this one is going to be purpose. And remember, with our purpose, that was in 4-point, and it was blue, and it was rotated to the left. Also, our color was also 4-point, so I'll adjust that one. Great. So now those will all appear the way they need to once we get that layout put together. So I am going to just go through and create essentially what the layout is going to be for this title block. So I'm going to move my etc source for ERS up here. Accessories can come down. Typical can come down. I want to put my etc source for kind of in line with that and in line with my color source par. That looks pretty good. Drag this off to the side. And once I've got these kind of in line the way I want, I move these down just a little more. There we go. Okay, I want my accessories to be down here. I want the title of this to be instrument key and be in line with that up there. Great. So I need to insert something for my accessories. Remember, that was that template symbol. So I'm going to come up to my resource manager and double click on my template. Again, it's going to want to insert that accessory, but I'm just going to come to the symbol insertion. So that will look like that. And it looks like I've missed a couple of pieces of text that I need. So I'm going to duplicate my channel field and just drag it over here. And I'm going to change it to template. And then I need to indicate the degree of my source 4 ERS fixtures here. So I'll duplicate that template text, and I'm going to change this to 36 degree, and I'll duplicate it, and I'll change it to 50 degree. Okay, and I'm just going to move these up underneath these fixtures. And maybe just drag them up a little bit closer. Great. I'm going to put my template in line with my actual template, and then maybe slide that over a little bit. And then I'm going to move typical right underneath my accessories. Right there, looks pretty good. And for my typical fixture, I'm going to just use the symbol of my 36 degree ERS fixture. So I'm just going to select it and duplicate it, and then drag that duplication down so it's centered on typical. And then I'm just going to click and drag these text fields over to their relative positions of where they reference on the particular fixtures. So that's my color. My unit number is going to go in the center. My channel number is going to go down here. And my purpose is going to go over here. And looks like I need to select my fixture and move it back. So again, that's Command B on a Mac or Control B on a PC. There we go. Let's just drag this a little bit out of the way. There we go. So now we've got all of the text fields relative to the fixture. And then I just need to basically encase this and make it a little bit more attractive. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle, activate my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle around all of these objects. There we go, and I'll send it back. Great. And let's just do a little bit of cleanup here. So I'm going to select all of these items and my instrument key text, and I just want to center those things in that rectangle. There we go. From here, I just want to separate things out visually a little bit. So I'm going to activate my line tool, and I'm going to switch my line thickness to 20. And then I'm just going to draw a series of dividing lines. Let's see, I'll separate the ERS fixtures from the wash fixtures. Move that down a little bit. I'll separate the wash fixtures from the accessories, and I'll separate the accessories from the template. There we go. Now I've got some segments that are relatively easy to reference and easy to see. We know what type of fixture is in each one of them, and it's just visually a little bit nicer. I'm going to clean this up just a little more. I'm going to grab the outer border of my rectangle, and I'm going to change it to a line thickness of 20, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and select all of these things and just group this together, so Command G or Control G, so that that all now moves as one thing, and I don't have to worry about accidentally, inadvertently grabbing some component of it and dragging it where I don't want to. From here, I'm ready to create my viewport for printing. So like we've done before, I'm going to come over to my drawing and get the whole thing on the page. And I'm going to draw a rectangle over the whole theater. I'm going to skip the doors. I don't really care about them, but there we go. And as usual, I'm going to make a pen of none and a fill of none. So I basically have an invisible rectangle, and say View and create viewport. Yep. Okay, so the viewport name is going to be LightPlot. And create on layer. I don't want it on the Studio A ground plan. I want to create a new sheet layer. And my sheet number is going to be 2, and my sheet title is going to be LightPlot. I'll hit OK, and now that's going to be on the correct layer. I'm going to deselect drawing label. I don't want that, but I do want to change my scale to 1/2 inch, and the rest of that information should be fine. So I'll click OK, and there is my LightPlot. Looks like I need to center it in the space just a little bit better. Still. Let's get it centered on the page. There we go. That looks pretty good. That'll be fine. Okay, so from here, I need to go ahead and put in a border and title block. So I'm going to come up and select my US Arc D title block. This is a D size piece of paper. So I'll double click on that and place my title block. Looks like it's trying to snap to some things, so I'm just going to go double click and put it in space and go back to my selection tool, and then I can come up here and drag this corner into the top right of that page. There we go. Now that's bordering my drawing nicely. I'm going to select that again and update my data fields. So in my object info palette, go to the data tab, and here's all of the info record fields that we populated before. So under lighting, I'm going to put my name. You should put your name. Under scale, I'm going to say 1/2 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. Drafted by, I'm going to just put my initials. Today's date is 5/28/26. And the drawing title is LightPlot. Great. I've got that all information entered. And if I scroll in here, we can see that all of that's been populated. Looks like my LightPlot is not quite centered. I need to adjust something there. So I'm just going to double click on this, and yes, I want to edit the 2D components. And I'll double click again to get into that group and select drawing title. And in my object info palette, go back to shape. Yeah, and my alignment is to the left and my vertical alignment's to the top. I want both those to be center. So I'm just going to change those in the drop-down menu. There we go. And exit the group and exit the symbol. There we are. And now LightPlot is centered in that box and looks a lot nicer. I need to still add my instrument key into this drawing. So I'm going to come up to my active layer and come back to the LightPlot design layer where I drew my instrument key. And I'll come over here and create another viewport. So creating a rectangle that just encompasses that entire thing, changing its pen and its fill to none, and view, create viewport, yes. I want this to be instrument key. It's going to be on the LightPlot layer, so it'll be drawing number 2, even though I'm still not using the drawing label. I want to change it to 1/2 inch so it's all in the same scale. That should be great. I'll say OK. And there is my instrument key, and now I just need to drag it over. I'm going to just drag it so that the bottom right-hand corner intersects the bottom left-hand corner of my title block, and there's all my information. From here, I'm going to zoom out to fit everything on the page and save my drawing, and I'm going to export this as a PDF for printing. So here's my export PDF page. We're just going to go with all of the defaults. Export. And let's see, I want this to be in the Studio A folder. There it is. And LightPlot. Studio A LightPlot tutorial. That'll be fine. I'll click Save. Apparently I already have one, so I'll say, call this one class tutorial. Great. And then it will produce my light plot, and you can go ahead and upload your light plot to Nexus.